Good morning. Everybody appreciate a delayed morning, particularly when you got a lot on the agenda, right? So thank you all for being here. We appreciate it greatly. Amy, would you call us to order, please?
Commissioner Ashworth.
Here.
Commissioner Banks.
Here.
Commissioner Hassler. Commissioner Wild.
Here.
All right, would you please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Right behind you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. It's great to see. It's just great to see this. The board very much appreciates all of you coming in, particularly for awards and everything else. It makes our meeting when we get to shake hands with the people who are doing the work. So thank you. Congratulate you, whether it's accommodations or promotions or service stars. So thank you very much. Happy holidays from the board. Hopefully everybody has nice plans for the holidays, even if it's taking a little bit of time off. Those of you who are working the holidays, we truly appreciate it. But happy holidays. We wish you a blessed holiday season. It includes a Merry Christmas for those of you who are of that faith. It's Happy Hanukkah for those of you who are of that faith. We all wish you a very happy New Year and a healthy, happy, successful, and safe 2025. Is Rabbi Shook here? Not here yet. All right. The reason we wanted to call out Rabbi Shook is, I don't know if you all know his connection to Rankin Jordan Children's Hospital. He's been there for almost 30 years. He and his wife, Carol, they ran a very nice article on him in their annual financial statement about all he has done to impact the lives of children. So it's pretty impressive. So if you see Rabbi Shook, thank him for what he does outside of the stuff he leads for us and all the activities that he and the chaplaincy and everything else he and they do for us. So please congratulate him. There was, I think it was up in first, and I picked up a book, maybe it was down in third, called Start Here. Those of you officers know what this book is most likely, but it is a St. Louis area resource directory. And when you scan through it, it has everything from clothing, stuff for dads, food programs, pantry, immigrant services, legal services, medical and health, mental health. It's just a great resource to be handing out to people who might need a little more help, particularly during this holiday season. So if you don't have it, ask your sergeant, ask your lieutenant, ask your captain, ask whomever for some of these, because they were handing them out. I think it was up in first. Captain Morgan, is that where we got it? Anyway, wherever we got it, please take a look at it. It's awesome. Let's see. Maybe last, a little more on a somber note, it is the end of the year. And so we're going to ask for a moment of silence for all of our officers, active or retired, St. Louis County, all of the St. Louis community, maybe across Missouri and across the nation, for those who gave their service and their sacrifice to us. So if you join us in a moment of silence on behalf of them, we'd appreciate it, especially now. Thank you. That seems unfortunately very befitting at year end and during the holiday season. So we know they were your colleagues and your friends. So thank you for the moment of silence. Gentlemen, anything else before we dive in?
No, sir.
Very good. We are going to start out with some special recognition. We have some wonderful guests here. They're probably more like family anymore for all they've done for us, but we are going to issue a proclamation to the St. Louis Police Foundation. And so joining us, we have the first and long time and now retiring, unfortunately, Chairman Doug Albrecht. Your visionaryship and your leadership is remarkable. Everybody in this room understands what your vision has done for us, the board, even riding with officers and talking to their leadership teams. We can't imagine where we would be without the vision that you crafted many, many years ago. As hard-pressed as governments are to fund anything today, and you led that vision, you led that effort to make that happen. And Doug, we can't thank you enough, and we wish you the absolute best in your retirement. Thank you, sir, very much. So also joining us is the now current Vice Chair and Secretary Treasurer, John O'Connell. John's, I think you mentioned about 10 years with the Police Foundation. What's neat is John is going to be leading us into the future. So he's going to be replacing Doug as the chairman. So John, we appreciate it. We look forward to your leadership. We know you've had it in the past, but we very much look forward to your leadership and your vision of the future and how else you can support the city and the county and everything else that goes on. So thank you. Appreciate it greatly. And Michelle Craig, we don't know what to say about you. We just all know you. We all appreciate you. We know, good morning. We know you are there to care for our officers and our professional staff. We know you're the one that listens to our needs and then makes it happen through the other gentlemen. So we just can't thank you enough. You are incredible. You've been incredible. All three of you have been. So if you don't mind, we would love to read this proclamation and make sure that you understand what it is and why we want to celebrate you. And if you wouldn't mind standing so we can all, those of us who haven't, if you could just come up a little bit for us, all three of you, come on up. It's okay. We know you're humble and shy, but we will read this.
Want us to stand?
Yeah, I guess we should. Sorry, if you won't mind standing with us. So the proclamation presented by the St. Louis County Board of Police Commissioners. Whereas the safety and security of the general public is amongst the most important responsibilities the government of St. Louis County, and whereas the dedicated members of the St. Louis County Police Department work devotedly and selflessly on behalf of the citizens of St. Louis County, regardless of the peril or hazards to themselves, and whereas the St. Louis Police Foundation was founded in 2007 by Mr. Doug Albrecht and Mr. Chris Goodson, we recognize the incredible demands placed upon the men and women who recognize the incredible demands placed upon the men and women to protect our community. And whereas the St. Louis Police Foundation now has 26 volunteer board members and 10 volunteer advisory board members, and whereas budget constraints significantly impact the police department's ability to invest in the tools and training to successfully and safely conduct their mission, and whereas the foundation secures private support to positively impact our police capabilities and has raised more than $43 million, and we recognize this is to date for both St. Louis City and St. Louis County, to fund more than 200 projects, including vital tools such as license plate readers, safety equipment such as ballistic vests and shields, specialized training for officers, real-time crime center equipment, new K-9 officers, and improvements to the St. Louis County and Municipal Police Academy training facility, among others. And whereas the work of our police department has been significantly enhanced through the active engagement of the St. Louis Police Foundation with their strong commitment to protecting the rights and freedoms of citizens in our community. And whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the dedication and contribution of the St. Louis Police Foundation. Whereas the support of the Police Foundation helps to make our police department a more modern and well-respected law enforcement agency, which increasingly provides a vital public service, unceasingly, forgive me. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the St. Louis County Board of Police Commissioners, that December 18th, 2024 shall be St. Louis Police Foundation Day throughout St. Louis County, and the Board of Police Commissioners publicly salutes the volunteers and President and Executive Director Michelle Craig for their service and dedication to law enforcement officers in our community. Done and proclaimed by the St. Louis County Board of Police Commissioners on this 18th day of December, 2024. Thank you all very, very much. So to whom shall we present this? To Michelle. To Michelle. Michelle gets it. Michelle, congratulations. Come on in, Thomasina. Very good. Oh, wait, wherever you want. That works. Over here? Good. Wow.
Just want to say that this is very kind. We appreciate it very much, but we just do it for you, the officers, and anything we can do to support you, make your lives easier, make us safer. So thank you. Have a Merry Christmas. And, you got a lot of citizens, our donors, our board. We try to have your back when we can. So thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
We don't know everybody in the auditorium understands this, but those of you who might be watching this on video now or later, pretty impressive, magnificently supportive of our officers and our professional staff.
43 million worth.
43 million worth, right? Regardless of what it is, including safety and other things. I appreciate that. Chief, I think we have some service stars to deliver. And so, Commissioner Hassler, do you mind helping me through this a little bit, make sure I get these out correctly? It's, thank you. We know you had some car problems this morning, so thank you for being safe as you hurried in. We appreciate that. Thank you. So last month, we celebrated his birthday. This month, we get to celebrate 45 years. So up first, I'm not sure how many 45-year pins and stars we've issued over the years, but Chief, this one's definitely not big enough. It is our pleasure to thank you for 45 years worth of service and leadership.
You were.
You're a child.
He was 10 when he started, though, right?
The lawyer's buttering him up already. He was 10 when he started, he said.
He was 10. He was 10 years old when he first started.
All right, so not too shabby in of its own right. We have a couple of 30-year service pins. And by the way, those of you who are here celebrating, it's not just the pin, right? The pin is just an acknowledgement of the impact that these people have had on the lives of our community and the lives of their peers and their friends. So thank you very much for that. Up first in the Division of Patrol from the Bureau of Transit Police, Captain Brad Kelling, 30 years, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna just stand up. I guess I could get my squats in today, couldn't I? Also with 30 years of service from the Division of Special Operations, Bureau of Security Services, Rochelle Whitmore. Rochelle, are you here? Thank you. Special Officer, thank you very much. 30 years, amazing, wonderful.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah, I know when you lead off with a 45-year, 30 years, and now 25 years, you get a feeling for how much longevity we have in the police department. So moving on to 25 years and thanking you all very much for what you do. First off, from the Division of Patrol, Mischling, Police Officer Jacob Mischling from West County Precinct. Jacob, I'm sorry, sir, I'm trying to multitask here. Forgive me for butchering your name, sir. I apologize. I'm trying to do 3 things at once and didn't do any of them well. Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Also from the Division Patrol, also with 25 years, from the South County Precinct, Sergeant Jason Newman. Thank you, sir. Congratulations.
Thanks, Sergeant.
Wear it proudly. With 25 years, also from the Division of Patrol, from the Bureau of Transit Police, Sergeant David Porter.
Congratulations to you. Congratulations.
All right. Thank you. And it is Sergeant's Day with the last person with 25 years. Also from the Division Patrol from the Central County Precinct, Sergeant Louis Bowman. Division Patrol, yeah. Bowman? Got it. Thank you, sir. Appreciate your leadership.
My precinct.
So I'm going to tease him a little bit because he told me he had to leave early, so I thought he might have left already. Just joking. Captain with 25 years from the Division of Criminal Investigation, Captain Tony Cavaletti. You knew I was going to, right? Thank you, sir. Appreciate you 25 years.
Congratulations always.
Thank you all for your 25 years. It's deeply appreciated. And just getting started in their career, we have a couple of 10-year starters from the Office of the Chief of Police in our Public Information Office, Ms. Vera Clay.
You're not gonna make her sing, no?
Commissioner Banks asks that you sing, please.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Vera. Thank you. And also just getting started in her career with 10 years from the Division of Operational Support in our Vehicle Supply Unit, Miss Alexis Tucker. Thank you, Alexis. How wonderful.
Congrats, Alexis.
Did we miss anybody? Well, again, thank you all. I didn't do a quick count, but 40, 70, 100, it looks like about 140 years of service between those 8 or 9 people. So thank you very much for making such a difference in our community for so long. We appreciate it greatly. Chief, I think with that, the board's going to bounce it over to you for a couple of things.
You hear me? I need this. First up, distinguished service citation to Police Officer Greg Krantz. Greg, come on up for you. And Captain Roser, you're up there. Greg, it's yours. And I'll hold that for you. Okay.
Okay, right here, Greg.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, board members, chief, ladies and gentlemen in the audience. I'd like to direct your attention to Officer Kranz's actions on December 12, 2021. He was assigned to the Jennings precinct, and we received a radio assignment for a shooting, shots fired at a 2000 block Cola Ridge Drive. When the officers arrived on scene, there was an individual who was shooting his shotgun up in the air and shot at several moving cars and also shot his neighbor. The sergeants on scene, when they arrived, the individual gunman retreated back into his residence. So the sergeant set up containment. Greg was one of the officers on containment. As the officers were attempting to communicate with the individual inside the building, he emerged and threw a couple of Molotov cocktails at his neighbor's residence, which caught him on fire. Several officers went up to try to evacuate the individuals in that house. When they did so, the gunman emerged and leveled his shotgun off at the officers that were trying to evacuate the residence. Officer Krantz took action and fired one round from his patrol rifle, neutralizing the threat and making the scene safe. So his actions that day prevented his fellow officers from being shot. Did an outstanding job. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Well done, man. One shot. Yeah.
Congratulations, man. You got any family here with you?
I do. I get my parents, my brother,
Where's parents?
parents are over here.
Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it.
Brother in the front row.
Brother in the front row. I know about your brother.
I've got my wife.
Stand up. Stand up. Big peek at it.
Mhm.
Oh,
Hey.
Mr. Chairman, I have to recognize the Secret Service shot 5 times at the potential assassin of President Trump. Our guy only needed 1, and he hit him.
Better? All right, thank you. Police Officer Mike Conley and Police Officer Sean Cruz.
Members of the Police Board, Department of Family and Friends, today I'm presenting the Chief's Commendation Officer Michael Connolly and Officer Sean Cruz. This is for their actions on September 30th, 2023. It was a Saturday at 4:45 p.m. Our RIC, our Regional Intelligence and Information Center, put out information on a vehicle that was wanted by St. Louis City for vehicular hijacking, kidnapping, and armed criminal action. They said this vehicle was in the area of West Forest Avenue and Ferguson Road. So Officer Conley directed his attention to that area and ended up locating the suspect vehicle. Officer Conley tried to make a traffic stop and the vehicle fled. At that time, Officer Conley initiated an unauthorized pursuit and was soon thereafter joined by Officer Cruz. Both Officer Conley and Cruz engaged in a vehicle pursuit that was brief, and at one point the suspect vehicle crashed into an electrical pole. That terminated the pursuit and 3 suspects fled the vehicle. When this pole was struck, it came down on Officer Conley and Officer Cruz's vehicle along with a bunch of live wires. When these officers exited their vehicle, they were greeted by bright sparks, hot flashes, plumes of smoke, and the top of their police vehicle had melted due to the live wire. That's how dangerous of a situation it was. Without hesitation, they got out of their vehicles. They both sustained electrical shocks and still engaged with the 3 suspects. They ended up catching all 3 suspects after a lengthy foot pursuit. They were taken into custody and a firearm was recovered from one of those suspects. Again, this vehicle was wanted by the city for vehicular hijacking, kidnapping, and armed criminal actions. The amount of courage they displayed, dedication, resilience, and calmness under a very stressful situation reflects highly on themselves, on the St. Louis County Police Department, on this profession of police work as a whole. So great job, Officer Cruz, Officer Conley. And I want to do this. A picture is worth 1,000 words, so Vera is going to show a video just to kind of give you a sense of what I described and what these 2 officers encountered during this incident.
Man, enjoyed it, Bob. Man, thanks,
Thanks, sir. Conrad, thanks, sir. Energy.
You know, back in the day, I probably could have run those guys. Cruz, what about you? My parents are here. We're here. That's a good thing to speak to. Up next, Detective Christine McHugh, Detective Stephanie Hossels, and Detective Jeffrey Meadows. Come on up, please. Christine? Stephanie? Yours? And Meadows? That's yours. And we're going to take a picture here. All right, Father Wilhelm, you up there?
Morning, the board, morning, chief, morning, everyone. Drew Wheelheim with our burglary unit. I don't know if this is working or not, but this is Detective McHugh with the burglary unit, Detective Hossels and Detective Meadows with City of Jennings Precinct. This award is being given on a pretty lengthy, involved investigation, so I'll try and keep it brief. But these detectives noticed a trend back in the summer of 2023 of businesses that were being broken into and ATMs being stolen from within. They were also able to link those incidents with some other incidents of some freestanding ATMs being stolen from like bank drive-throughs, things of that nature. And so for the longest time, this was a case of whodunit. They didn't really have any solid leads on who these individuals were, not a whole lot of leads to go on, but through their determination, they were able to link a vehicle that was being utilized by these two to a neighborhood in North St. Louis County. From there, they literally went street by street, house by house, trying to narrow this down to where this was, where these two were operating out of. Once they were able to do that, they came up with an operation to surveil these individuals overnight. And luckily for us, they actually happened to hit an ATM in South County that night during this operation. That theft was interrupted by South County police officers, but these two individuals fled from the patrol officers. But the surveillance team was able to surveil them back to the house in North St. Louis County. These two individuals left the house a short time after that, and they were able to take these two into custody, no use of force, nothing like that. So it was a good job there. Continuing that, they got charges issued for that particular incident in South County. But continuing the investigation, that wasn't good enough for these detectives. They were able to link these two back to 12 total incidents of burglaries and thefts. And now they're currently sitting across the street of the jail, each facing 30 counts plus of burglary, stealing, and property damage. And so this is just a very good example of inter-unit cooperation between divisions, hard work, determination, old school, new school police work, and it was just a good job by everyone involved. So congratulations. Very well done.
Well done, thank you. Well done, Detective. Hey, well done, sir, thank you.
Sir?
Sir? Good seeing you, as always, thank you all.
Christine, anybody here with you?
No, they're not playing hooky today.
Stephanie, what about you? Anybody?
Yeah.
Yes, Christine, Stand up for it. Yes, Christine. All right, thank you, guys. Doug Wachowski, come on up, please. Doug, receiving accommodation today?
Yes, sir, chief.
Congratulations, sir. That's yours. All right. Lieutenant?
Thank you, chief.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Board, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I'd like to introduce Officer Doug Wachowski, works in the South County Precinct. On May 1st of this year, Doug was engaged in preventative patrol in his assigned beat. Thank you. When he observed a suspect driving a vehicle who was known to him from numerous contacts previously for felony thefts and multiple catalytic converter thefts. Officer Podkowski attempted to conduct a traffic stop, but the suspect fled into city's venue. Knowing the resources available to him within the department, Officer Podkowski initiated a search warrant to obtain a GPS device which was placed on the suspect's vehicle with the assistance of the U.S. Marshal Service. On May 23rd of this year, the suspect was taken into custody by Officer Podkowski in accordance with, or in addition to members of our crimes against property
Unit and the U.S. Marshal Service. This arrest ultimately led to the clearance of 30 felony crimes, multiple cases of catalytic converter thefts that were cleared, and just proves, if I can say, that Officer Perkowski conducts himself in this manner continuously. And this is just another example of the fine work he does for the police department and for the citizens of St. Louis County. So I'd like to say thank you to Doug.
Well done, sir. All right.
Doug, again, am I here with you again?
Yeah, my wife and my 2 kids, but she's got a newborn, so she's not going to stand.
Wait till. Thank you. And I have a couple of promotions to make. Mr. Danstone? Dan has been promoted to the Deputy Director of EOC. Congratulations, sir.
Congrats, Deputy.
Dan, am I here with you today?
My mother, Susan, my wife,
Stand-
Julie,
Mom, stand up, please.
and my unit.
And your unit. Next promotion is Miss Sarah Farrell. She's being promoted to PSD 2.
Thank you. None of it works without communications. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Nothing else works.
Sarah, am I here with you?
My mom and my husband.
Mom, husband, stand up for us. Commissioner, that's all I have, sir.
Very good. Those of you who are family, friends, colleagues, support mechanisms, I hope you realize that the awards that the officers and the staff receive today aren't just theirs. They're because you're behind them every step of the way, supporting them, whether it's the same unit, whether it's, what is it, the term, department family. We thank you extraordinarily so for all your commitment to our officers and our professional staff. So thank you very much. We wish you all a very happy holiday season, a happy new year, and a blessed 2025. And with that, you are very welcome to leave now, if you would prefer. Otherwise, you'll be here for the next 7 hours while we go through the rest of this. Well, they are good to go in the back, so we're good to go up here. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Morning.
I'm going to start with the 2024 budget. Right now, a surplus of 11.2 million, maybe a little bit more. Retirement is staying the same. We have, so today and then December 31st, and then I'm done complaining about the retirement percentage. Then I just did a year-end transfer to cover shortages, and that'll be the first of a couple. The books stay open through February, so we still have some time to figure out where we're short in that. But then on the ARPA funds, we have spent $15,671,464. We've been reimbursed $6,690,561 with 3 claims pending. So they just reimbursed us a bunch. So now on to the bad news. 2025, you guys probably saw that the council approved. They cut us by 4.1 million. They cut our salaries and fringes, it's called a salary and fringe lag. They don't cut our positions, but they cut the dollars. It's a total of 11.9 million. To put it in perspective, when I just told you our surplus for this year, we're anticipating a 10.7 just in salary and fringes, and they cut another 11.9 for next year. They cut all our out-of-town travel. They cut our tuition reimbursement from 50,000 to 5,000 for the total of the 4.1. So that's where we're at on that.
My
Any
sense
questions?
was, though, they didn't treat us any differently than the
No,
other
they did not.
departments. It
You
was
know,
kind
they-
of countywide.
You're right. They had to do cuts all along. Yep, every department. So that's all I really have. Do you have questions about that?
Is that a final budget statement then?
I would say so, yeah.
They're not going to come back for more? That's,
No, that was the approval of the budget last night. Sorry. Tilt it down. Got it. Thank you.
thank you, Dave. So no more cuts coming at this point, as we
No,
understand it?
no. Now, when we had met with them, they were pretty open that if we needed the positions, we could go back to them. And right now, I know, and Julie will probably talk about it, that, you know, we have an academy class that's the highest we've had in a while. So we could possibly have to do that.
And what's the 4.1 translate into in heads?
Oh, it's another 15%. They cut 50% in our first go around. And then that's what they made the salary lag. And now they did 65%. So it was, let's see, originally it was like 79 bodies. And so it'll be up to around 90, 95 bodies. 103? Oh.
I like the number better though.
I do too. Well, that's less vacancies, unfortunately.
I do know, Council, I know Chairwoman Webb has, I think, done a great job during the year on hearing those requests. So I think we should stay really in tune with that.
Okay.
Because for all the other departments, I do know she goes out of her way to try and accommodate when it is needed.
Right.
She's
I
done
think
a
she's
great
very
job with
supportive
that.
of the police department.
I agree completely.
Yeah. Did you
I
have?
was just saying the number just went up yesterday from 79 to 103.
Right, yeah, that was just last night, yep. But they did, they cut positions out of the county exec's office, and they cut some out of their office, so.
Terry, I do have one more question.
Sure.
But we'll make sure everybody's got a chance. Looking at the 2024 budget, it's not so much the dollars, it's the concept. So the $3.3 million in overtime, is that based off of us forecasting overtime on a 12-hour shift basis, or is that based off of what we've historically run?
Historically run.
All
I
right.
usually, my best projection is based off of the prior pay period, and that's what I use.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's everybody department-wide.
All right. Thank you.
Sure,
Any other questions for Terry?
thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Allie, welcome back fully.
Thank you.
You've never really
Morning.
gone, but
Yeah.
still nice to have back.
Full-time though, full-time back. All right, so this is our crime statistics for November. This will hopefully be short and sweet because there's not really anything spectacular. For our notable events from our Bureau of Professional Standards statistics, everything is pretty much the same as we've seen the past few months. The only thing to note is for our department vehicle accidents, in November, we had the highest number of accidents for the year with 17, but we're still down nearly 21% year to date. And we did have snow last month, so it typically makes sense. For our failure to yields, we had 119 last month. As usual, about 56% is in North County and Jennings, and then rises up to about 68% when you include South County. For our highlights, we're down in arrests. We had 747 in November. That's down 84 compared to October. Guns seized are down 8. There were 59 in November, and there were 67 in October. And DWI reports are down just 1. One of the high performers for DWIs in patrol has been moved to highway safety, but he's on leave. So I'm expecting to see those numbers start to rise as we start next year. For our crime data, our homicides are down nearly 8%. Seeing the same things we've seen in previous months. Our assaults with hands, feet, and fists are up 35, but it's been higher numbers in previous months. We keep seeing it trend down. And the overall aggravated assaults are down 1.3%, with total crimes against persons up 3.8. For our homicides, there were 3 in November. All 3 of them were in St. Louis County Police patrolled areas. Crimes against persons has investigated 59 so far this year.
Ellie, before you change that slide, I do have a question.
Yes.
Didn't mean to interrupt if there's more to go through.
Absolutely.
So on the numbers for both the county and the city, so on what we're looking at, the right-hand column up in the top, or right-hand document, the top right, I think it had, I'm going off memory now, 39 county homicide and 20 municipal homicide.
Correct.
Is that ratio roughly what it always is? In other words, about 2 to 1?
Typically, yes.
Typically?
Typically, we have about 2/3, or
Twice
two,
as many?
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you.
very good. Thank you.
For crimes against property, again, some of the same things we're seeing. Robbery totals are down over 20%. Larceny totals are down 16%. Motor vehicle thefts are down nearly 37%. We had that huge outlier with the Kia and Hyundai thefts last year, so those numbers aren't truly comparable in my opinion. But overall, crimes against property is down 16%. Similar with the crimes against society, we keep seeing that same, the prostitution offense up 66.7%, but it's the same numbers it's been for the past few months. And then overall, down nearly 16% for society. Our directed calls for service, every precinct except for Fenton was below the moving average. That's exactly what we're going to expect with the colder months. I'd expect to see that for December as well. Our self-initiated calls, every precinct except for Jennings was also below the moving average. Top calls for November, sick cases for directed, and extra patrols for self-initiated. And then our traffic stop reports, no outliers currently seen. I think they're going to meet in the new year and look over individual things.
Questions for Ellie?
Not, excuse me, not so much a question as just a statement, but I'd like to acknowledge the leadership in our patrol for their work on several high-profile cases that have been going on in the last month or so. They have press conferences, and although you don't see St. Louis County perhaps at the press conference, the work that our units are doing in support of other departments and our friends in the city, I think is just phenomenal. The commitment and dedication. You started by saying there's nothing spectacular, and I'll kid you by saying there's a lot of spectacular up there because these guys create amazing every day.
Yes, the spectacular
Men
work
and
that
women.
they do makes these numbers not so spectacular.
Right. They set a high bar.
Yes, absolutely.
One more request.
Yes.
Could you send the board an email, the municipal, the 20?
20 municipal
Yeah,
homicides?
just which municipalities?
Sure.
Yeah, and don't have to bring it into the public forum, but I think it'd be important for us to understand where we might be able to support a little differently or whatever it might be. But if you just send us by,
Sure.
for those 20 what municipalities they've been in.
Is there anything you want for next month for year-to-date differences?
Nope.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Julie, you're up.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hi, Joel.
All right. So I just want to point out before I start going over numbers, so we still have to base our vacancy numbers on that 145 vacancies. Since they didn't take the positions, they took the money for the positions. So really, we still have those positions. So when I'm still doing my calculations, that still looks the same. You know, otherwise I would be able to say we're fully staffed, but we're really not. So for our commission vacancy rate in November, slightly went up. We did have 2 resignations for our commission staff in November. We're still at the very top of that national average, so really on track with what everybody else is experiencing as well. And then for professional staff, slightly went up again too. So still kind of looking at filling these different vacancies. But overall, for commission staff, our resignations are down 64% to where we were last year. So, definitely a win for us. Retirements are up 32% to last year. That national average is 44% increase. So, we're actually trending lower than that. However, I'm not going to hold on to that because I know January and February is going to bring quite a few retirements. So we're already kind of preparing for that. And then professional staff, our resignations are down and our retirements are both down. So still a big win for us. Our applications have slowed down a little bit. I don't know really what caused that kind of increase, but we're thankful it happened. But we had 38 applications for commission staff compared to 46 the month before, so just a little bit. However, we had 87% of those were not qualified. So again, it's trying to get that qualified number up. So really making sure that we're targeting the right people. We have 10 commission staff that are in background right now, and those are experienced officers and then June academy class. Since our January class is getting ready to start in a couple of weeks, we've already missed that deadline. So now we're already working on June. I believe we have 4 that are in backgrounds right now for the June class. So we would bring them on as a pre-recruit, get them acclimated with the department for those couple months. So dispatch, actually 100% of our dispatch applications in the month of November were not qualified. However, we do still have 2 that are in backgrounds from the previous month. And then security officer, we have 3 in backgrounds right now. Care report clerk, we're actually getting people through that process. We're getting ready to put some into background for care. So about 20 backgrounds total right now. So our current academy class graduates tomorrow. Very excited about that. We have 9 recruits that are graduating. And then our class that starts in January, we have 18 that are fully confirmed. So they have finished everything. We have 7 that are at the very final stage. So we're really looking at 25 for the January class. We also have 2 experienced officers starting in January, and then another one that is in background right now. One is returning back to the county, so happy to have them. Our advertising campaign is now live. However, half of it cannot be launched until county IT helps us with a piece of that. And I've been waiting 5 weeks for them to complete that task. So as soon as that happens, you'll start seeing the TV ads and just the full campaign. We were able to launch our recruiting specific social media pages, really trying to build that audience. So we've been able to do a piece of like the social media. However, we can't do our landing page and we can't do any of our TV or radio ads until county IT helps us. So kind of waiting there. Sergeant Graff has been helping me get in contact with different people if we need to. I've submitted tickets, so just kind of waiting on that piece.
Do you need the board to weigh in?
Not yet.
I would think so.
You think?
Yes.
Okay.
So county IT has taken a lot of our administration powers from our IT department, which they actually need to do. And their biggest concern is security. But it's just kind of holding us up. She said she's been waiting for quite some time to get this done.
Executive Director, we'll come back to you after the meeting and get a little more detail on
Sure.
that, who and what that. I think we would also weigh in this morning. The foundation asked the question of the chief, right? How is the recruiting going? The money we gave you for their recruiting effort, and Chief appropriately responded and said, "We don't know yet, right? We got this big influx, right? They were trying to do a direct connection, and Chief appropriately said, not sure yet." So
yes,
I don't think it sets well for us as a department. It certainly doesn't set well for the county if we're having people give us stuff and we can't do it. So
because what I'm waiting on is for county to put in our the tracking piece. It's called a GTM, and that allows our marketing company to then give us numbers and say, here's what we're tracking. Here's how well it's doing. We can see if we need to switch gears. All of that. So without having that there, we don't know how we're doing. So very important that we get that taken care of.
Great. We'll reach out to you afterwards.
Okay, perfect. So personnel office in general, I ended up doing a demo with Power DMS. So we currently use Power DMS. They just launched Vetted, which is a background investigation software that's an add-on. It was very impressive, very comparable to other background investigation softwares. However, the price is a lot less. So the first year is $6,000, second year and beyond is $7,000 a year. So very great features. We already know that it will work with our systems because it's through Power DMS. So it would be a great thing to have. However, with the recent news of the budget, I'm not sure that we'd be able to find that money. So we may just have to get creative, whether it be go to the foundation or, find other ways to pay for that through my budget. So looking into that at this time.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Of course.
We're talking about the ability to shave half the time off of backgrounds. I mean, that's penny wise and pound foolish not to spend.
I agree. So we would be saving about $8,000 in labor costs alone a year if we were able to implement something like this. But I think a lot of times we have to show where's the hard money coming from, not where's the savings. So that's where I struggle to say, well, we're going to save this by doing this, but really they need to say, well, where is it coming from? It's like, well, that's where it's coming from, but having to quantify that, so. Our Leadership Development Institute, we received, it's actually, I think, 160 applications now, so we're really, really excited about that. Huge win for us. So we have all ranks are represented in there. So we have literally somebody from every rank, every piece of professional staff. So a really good mix. And so all of those trainings will start in January.
And you're set to go on all those trainings?
Yes, we have them all booked and everything. Yep, they're ready to go.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Very good news.
All right, that is all I have.
Any other questions for the executive director?
All right, thank you.
Up next, if you remember what, Charlie, a few months ago, St. Louis County Police Department cut our ties with First Form.
Yes.
First Form, prior to that, was a big contributor to our Memorial Golf Tournament. And obviously, what we achieved from the Memorial Golf Tournament, they contribute to our welfare. We lost that support from them. So the members of the welfare, Sergeant O'Hara, Krantz, Amy, Zach Ziegler, came up with an idea that they want to present to the board. They presented it to myself and the executive command staff as to how we can recuperate some of that money that we're going to lose from First Form. And they just want to make a presentation to you today in regards to that.
So can maybe ask one question? Come on up, you two. So First Form, by having, I'm trying to carefully word this, sorry about that. Their issue with what they said, at least one member of their staff said, they have also pulled back then from their financial support of the county.
We're just not accepting any.
All right. Well, that's why I wanted to clarify. We're not accepting it. They didn't back off. We said, no, thank you. All right. I just wanted to clarify. Thank you.
Okay, or should I just go ahead? Okay. Morning, members of the board.
Morning.
In front of you, you guys should have a handout. This would be our presentation for the. No. I don't. That's fine.
They have copies.
So we proposed this fundraiser. This is something that other charitable organizations do as well. It is called the Queen of Hearts. You may have heard of it. What we are proposing with this is that it will establish a new, consistent, and revolving revenue stream for us. Anybody can play. It's not just people with our department. Your family members can play. Members of the public can play. The good thing about this is it's managed online by a third party. So our hands are not into it, with the exception of making payments to the people that do win. In addition to that, it's also hosted on a website that is created specifically for us. Also, we plan on pushing this through our various forms of social media in order to get the response that we're looking for. The drawings on this are weekly, so there are winners, or a winner rather, weekly. Every card is a winner. How that works is if your name is drawn for the raffle, you have already picked a number. That number responds to a card that had not been picked yet, and that card is revealed. Once that card is revealed, then you are paid out based on whether it's a number card, a face card, a queen. If it's the Queen of Hearts, then you win half of the prize, half of the jackpot. The other half does go to the Welfare Association. And because of our 501c3 status, that is tax-free to the association. The winners will also be announced on the host website and also via our social media. All we will have to do on a weekly basis is make a phone call to them. It is approximately 10 to 15 minutes of work for us a week. In comparison to our other major fundraisers, like our golf tournament or the bass fishing tournament, which are pretty labor intensive, this is very minimal work for us at all. Additionally on this, each ticket will be $5. $1 of that will cover the transaction fee. 50 cents of that goes to the .com, which is Go Raise Dough. The other 50 cents goes to the 2.5% transaction fee that the credit card companies would charge, along with the $25 monthly credit card fee that we have to pay. So $4 of that $5 ticket goes to the raffle. And once again, like I said, there's only 10, 15 minutes that we'll have to occupy our time, on a weekly basis. Supplemental benefits to our organization would be that we get, not only do we develop a new revenue stream, but we also get to capture the donor information. So currently we target more executive type donors for our golf tournament, for the bass fishing tournament. Anybody can play. So we'll have that information. We can use that in the future to maybe market or solicit other donations. This is something that anybody can do. We can also use this site to do other raffles. So for instance, sometimes we have a special raffle for an officer. It may be a gun raffle. That can be done through this site as well. If you look on your next pages, I just attached some handouts there of some previous, or some, there are churches or other organizations that do use this. And this would be their current jackpots. On that first one, and I just included this, would be their winner that they just had for this Assumption Queen of Hearts raffle. That was at the end of November. And their jackpot at that was roughly right at $160,000. So the winner of that obviously won half. And you can see by the other pages, some of the other organizations that do this as well. And they're very successful, playing this game, and it creates a good revenue stream for them. Did you have something? Go ahead.
Take it on the Catholic Church. I like that.
We're working on it.
I just wanted to add a couple things. So I've been in the association for 3 years now. When I got on, we had an operating budget roughly of about $60,000 in our account. We have other investments that are out there. Fortunately, in the past 3 years, we have not had to move money around. It is through advertising ourselves and what we do. Once somebody gets hired by the department, to include the Board of Police Commissioners, the chief, everybody down to a dispatcher or professional staff, you're a member of the Welfare Association. Our primary goal is to assist when it comes to financial hardships, such as if somebody's diagnosed with cancer or they have surgery, and there's that out-of-pocket copay, which usually roughly is about between $35,000 to $5,000. When our employees are going through that, the last thing that they need to worry about is a copay, whether that's the out-of-pocket through insurance or other bills that arise that they can't pay. We have assisted with buying groceries, paying rent for somebody who has been out of work so long that they've exhausted all their leave time because of a severe illness. Since we started advertising and putting ourselves out there more to help, in the past 3 years, I think, and Amy can attest to this, Lieutenant Ziegler, our treasurer, could not be here today. I think this year we are nearing $80,000 in assistance towards what we have put out. Sergeant O'Hara is spearheading this fundraiser that will help immensely. There's other things in the work that we are continuing to work on, such as payroll deduction for department members. Charitable, yes, charitable, through the charitable organizations, which will be added to the payroll deduction. But what I'm trying to say is, over the years, we've gone from assisting, I think my first year in the association, we gave out, I think it was close to $8,000 in assistance. And this year, by the end of the year, I think we'll be nearing $80,000 in assistance to our department employees. And that's ultimately what we are here for, just such as other organizations. So we want to do everything we can besides the golf tournament and the fishing tournament to bring us in more funds so we can always be there to assist our department family.
What's your projection on what this Queen of Hearts raffle could potentially bring in?
I don't want to guess.
Guess low.
I will. Well, if I guess low, I would say that on a yearly basis, at least 75,000, which is right in line with what we would make from our golf tournament.
Sure.
And that is having very little labor,
Sure.
into
Yeah.
this.
Mm-hmm.
And that is on the low side.
That'd be great.
Yep.
And I assume we've had the county look at it from a legal standpoint and a financial standpoint.
We have had our CPA look at this, and we've checked on, the tax laws, and from everything that we can see, we're good to go. The other organizations that I've put on these on your handouts, those are all 501c3 organizations as well.
It was a great presentation.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yes. Yeah, I have a few. Hold on. You guys hit a couple of them. The organization that's working behind the scenes to make all this happen, it's a valid organization. So I'm going to play a little bit with Commissioner Wild's comment, right? It's one thing when you're playing against the church. It's another thing when you're playing against what's legal and you have a police department. He's already asked the question, the legality of it, but it's an audited thing. So it's not like, well, these people give a lot and therefore they get more police protection. Or I'm just trying to make sure that there isn't a version of a quid pro quo out here.
No.
Completely anonymous, completely independent.
That's correct. And that's why we chose to use this third-party site. They manage it. They do all the drawings. The only thing that we do is handle the disbursement once we're notified of a winner.
Very good. And it's open to anybody. Is there going to be a marketing campaign? In other words, to Commissioner Banks' question, right? What your forecast? If it's just officers and our families, professional staff and their families, month after month after month, that's probably not 75,000, although I say that like I know something and I know nothing.
Correct. We will push this through our social media platforms.
Heard that.
And see, and we can also link that to other organizations that we are linked up with as well. So that way it'll exponentially, grow.
My last question isn't so much related to this. It's related to, you talked about replacing. I assume not only can we replace, but we can also come up with additional ideas to generate even more revenue to get it to 120,000, because it sounds like the needs of our group. And by the way, I think we've all acknowledged the Welfare Association, what you do is incredible work, right? So caring, so needed. But we're just trying to help you figure out how we get even more so as our officers and
With
professional staff need it.
things such as this and the payroll deduction, just to give you a small number to keep in mind with payroll deduction, if each employee, we get 26 paychecks, there's 26 pay periods a calendar year. If each employee were, let me start over, if 300 employees and the department were to give $5 a paycheck in a calendar year, that comes up to $39,000. I expect that, there potentially could be more than 300 people that would do a charitable donation out of their paycheck. I also suspect that that number could be higher than just $5. Some people may give 10, some people may give 20, but with 300 people giving $5 a paycheck, that comes up to $39,000 extra that we would have in our account to be able to assist our department family in times of need. So it's ideas like this that Sergeant O'Hara came up with, or payroll deduction. We're constantly working on trying to figure out creative ways that we can have more to help more.
Thank you again for what the Welfare Association does. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Great job.
Just share you about the work that they do for us. Do any other departments have a welfare like ours? I don't think so. And we benefit from it a great deal. I personally benefit from support from them. They just started another program with taking people to the doctor rides. Talk a little bit about that.
Lieutenant Ziegler, our treasurer, came up with an idea of department employees, gathering a list of department employees across the board, whether it's commissioned or professional staff, in all areas of the county. For example, we have a sick employee right now who requires transportation for some treatment. We have a list, he lives out west. We have a list of officers that work and are assigned out west that have volunteered, and we've compiled that list. So on the morning times, because his significant other is unable to take him, we have a ride set up for him that will bring him to his treatment, and when his wife gets off work, she brings him home. We've assisted, I think, since we started this program, was this the beginning of the year? I think we've assisted 13 people with that. And that's just another way that we can alleviate stress when people have other things to worry about, such as their health, how to get treatment, how to pay for treatment, what to do. Sometimes the last thing that they need, and it's an honest issue for a lot of people, is how am I going to get here? They might, a lot of times, the people that we've been helping, our department family members, with the treatment they receive, they can't drive for that day. So that puts a hardship on them. We have a list of 43 people that have volunteered, that when somebody reaches out to either myself, Sergeant O'Hara, Amy, or Lieutenant Ziegler, we will reach out. I just did it yesterday. I got something set up for somebody to go who lives out west to go to South County for treatment, and a person who works down south just happens to be getting off right at the time that the treatment will end. They will swing by and pick up that person and take them home. So that's just another thing that we put together.
This is also coordinated through the wellness unit as well. So.
Great, thank you. There's no doubt the work you do is truly impactful, and it's a privilege that our police family has your support behind the scenes. Is there anything else that would cause us any concerns other than the questions we've asked? I mean, you picked some concerns up in how we've asked the questions. Anything else?
You don't need approval, do you, from us? In any, that's right.
Anything else that would cause us any consternation?
Oh, no, I was just going to say the work is amazing, particularly the transportation program, I think is top notch. So appreciate all of the brainstorming.
Thank you.
That you're doing.
Thank you.
Do you know the date of the golf tournament?
Yes.
Thank you, man.
We know the location.
You threw your voice well.
We know the location, Mike.
Yeah, exactly. We all need your member number, Richard.
You got it.
What date? Sorry, I was
June 16th.
June 16th. All right, Chief, I think we had a fifth topic on there about the department division reports that we're going to punt till next month, right? Yes, sir. Very good. Just want to make sure that we addressed that. Anything else, sir? Thank you and your staff. We appreciate it greatly. Next topic on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our November 13th, 2024. They were in our packet. Do we have a motion to approve our minutes from our November 13th, 2024 meeting?
I move approval of the minutes.
Second.
Any further conversation, any corrections to our minutes from our November 13th, 2024 meeting? All in favor of approving our November 13th, 2024 meeting minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved. Next topic, our letters and communications, anything either incoming or outgoing. We know we have a letter from Councilman Tracus that we'll deal with in just a moment. Anything other than that? All right, very good. Old business. So last month, we passed a resolution to change our board meeting, but since it wasn't specifically called out on the agenda, we need to do it formally. So the motion that we passed was, and it goes in hand with our proclamation from last month about Arthur B. Shepley Jr. And by the way, Chief Kleinek gave me a copy of the badge. Actually, I don't think it's a copy, it's a real one. But it's a badge of the deputy sheriff for St. Louis County. So if you remember the conversation, it was the deputy sheriff piece, right? That we moved from sheriff to a professional police department. That's part of what we're after here, to recognize Mr. Shepley. So the motion was to rename the Board of Police Commissioners boardroom, where we normally meet for these meetings, to the Arthur B. Shepley Jr. Board of Police Commissioners boardroom. My guess is it'll probably be referred to as the Shepley boardroom, but that's to be determined in the future. So may we have a motion to formally approve the renaming of a current boardroom to the Arthur B. Shepley Jr. boardroom?
So moved.
Second.
Any further conversation on the renaming of our boardroom? All in favor of renaming our current boardroom to the Arthur B. Shepley Jr. Board of Police Commissioners boardroom, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Wonderful. We have recognized Mr. Shepley for all that he did, including the badge that we would be wearing right now, or something similar, if he had not given us a vision of the future. So thank you very much. And I think, Chief, next month we're going to have a grandson of his stop by and say hello. Is that correct?
The grandson's in Mexico, I think on vacation, hopefully. He would like to be here after the first of the year, when you get the lettering and you unveil it. He would like to be present. He's one of two grandchildren, so he plans to be. His first name is John.
Wonderful. Thank you. We'll look forward to seeing John, and can't wait to see what you do with John, and thank you again.
The other bit of information, the boardroom you're talking about is where the county council met in 1953. That was their boardroom, as this is today, and that's where they created the Citizens Committee and appointed Shipley. 51 years ago, I sat in front row here to be sworn in, so I'm looking for my 50-year pen.
Very good. So we have a new boardroom. Whatever we'll end up calling it, I'll just start out by saying next month, hopefully we can meet in the Shepley boardroom. All right. New business. We have 19 contracts, agreements. They are of varied purposes. They are all posted in our agenda and are on our website online for anyone who wants to take a look at it. For those of you on the board, it was in our packet. May we have a motion to approve the 19 contracts?
I move that the 19 contracts for the police department, the police service agreements be approved.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
Any further conversation? So before we vote on it, we would like to acknowledge from Bi-State, we have Vern Summers and Blessing Agobi here. Thank you for being here, gentlemen. We appreciate it greatly. We have enjoyed and appreciated the partnership, and we appreciate the flexibility based on what we have going on. So thank you again for showing up and investing in our partnership going forward. So with that, all in favor of approving the 19 contracts for new business that are in our packet, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We have 19 contracts, gentlemen. Looking forward to the ongoing relationship. Thank you. Next topic is public forum. Councilman Tracus, the floor is yours for the 3 minutes that we have.
Good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm here today to follow up on the letter I sent about a week ago so that the intent and meaning of the letter is clear. The chairman and I exchanged emails following the letter. So there's no doubt the letter was sent to you. Its intent is to send a message to you, the commission. It is in no way meant to indicate or imply that somehow the department isn't doing its job, that the officers aren't doing their job, and certainly that the rank and file, men and women, don't do their job. The opposite is the case. My letter is intended to make the point that perception is reality. I'm the voice for District 6, the largest, almost exclusively unincorporated district in the county. It's no secret or denying that St. Louis County, just like every other place in the country, is besieged by a tsunami of crime. Too much of it either committed by or directed at minors. So the point of my letter is that what I'm hearing from my constituents is that they're being, and this is their word, I used it in the letter, ignored. That's why I specifically used that letter. I don't believe that the police department is ignoring District 6. The perception by the people who live there is that's what's happening. Okay, I know these guys and women work hard every day, risk their lives every day, and I'm grateful for every one of them, and they all know that. I'm here to make the point that this commission is, and you've all taken an oath, in a position to make a difference, to assure that every precinct has every resource it needs, whether it's money, training, whatever it may be. Now, we heard, obviously, that your budget has been cut, as is the case in every department. That said, this commission has the ability to be a squeaky wheel, right? There's more money that's going to be appropriated for various departments. There's no reason this police department shouldn't be one of them. In terms of positions, the funding for positions that you need to fill is more important, in my opinion, than any other department in the county. Because without the men and women behind me, an ordered society cannot exist. So what I'm encouraging, what I'm imploring you to do is make sure that you do everything in your power to provide the resources that the police department needs, whatever that may be, money, training, equipment, whatever it is. And in doing so, make sure that you let the county council know that it needs to do its job and not simply hide behind the idea we don't have the money. Now, if you were at the meeting last night, it was said that we can't have a revenue problem and an expense problem at the same time. And you're right, you can't. The ship will implode. Well, that's where we are now. And so obviously steps have to be taken to increase revenue. I don't know that we have the ability or the courage to make significant cuts in the county budget. So the only recourse, and no one wants to talk about it, is we have to increase revenue, right? Well, making the point to the council that our police department needs additional revenue is important. So I would encourage one of you, each of you, to reach out not just to individual council members or to the chair, but to come to a council meeting when the time is needed, not just Chief Gregory or others, but you come and tell them, look, we need additional funding. So we're here for a supplemental appropriation so that the perception eventually begins to change and people don't feel like they're being ignored. And as I said, my intent in the letter was to make the point that perception is reality, that this commission has an opportunity because of your positions to speak loudly to the council. Not that the chief can't or others in the department, but all too often, departments are viewed as just another department. That's not the case with the police department. I'm a huge supporter, as people know, and because without that department, and you said it yourself, Mr. Chair, that the most important aspect of government is the safety and security of its citizens, right? Well, that's why this department is more important, in my opinion, than any other department in the county. And so I encourage you to use your position to exercise as much influence and impact on the council to get these folks the money and the resources they need to do their jobs. Because Lord knows we need more of them, and we need to change the perception. I'm happy to take any questions if you want.
I would make just a statement, and that's to thank you for your years of service to St. Louis County. I happened to attend the meeting last night, and the reception or the commentary by your colleagues said a lot to me, that across the dais, they identified you as a person that doesn't rubber stamp stuff.
No, that's
That
definitely me.
You're somebody who's committed, and I think we have all benefited greatly by the fact that you are committed to the police and you're committed to the people in your district. So we heard you, we agree with you, and we'll continue to, at least from my perspective, we'll continue to do everything in our power.
Thank you. And as I said, for the remainder of my term, I'm at your disposal, and certainly anything I can do afterwards, I'm happy to do.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you all.
Appreciate it. Happy holidays. Anything else? All right. The Board of Police Commissioners make a vote to go into closed meeting for legal advice and review of claims and lawsuits involving the police department, Section 610.0211 RSMO and Section 114.020.11 SLCRO. Discussion of employee and personnel matters, Section 610.0213 and 13 RSMO, and Sections 114.020.13 and 13 SLCRO, and preparation and discussion for negotiations with employee groups, Section 610.0219 RSMO and Section 114.020.19. Yes, ma'am. Oh, sorry. We're doing those afterwards. Yeah. Those need some discussion. That's why we wanted to make sure we did it afterwards. All right, thank you. Thank you. I think I was at Section 114. Let's just read that last piece again. And preparation discussion for negotiations with employee groups, Section 610.0219 RSMO and Section 114.020.19. May we have a motion to move into closed session, please? May we have a second? Amy, would you do a roll call vote for moving to close, please?
Commissioner Ashworth?
Yes.
Commissioner Banks?
Yes.
Commissioner Hassler?
Yes.
Commissioner Wow?
Yes.
So we're in close. As we head to close, we know there's a holiday party this week. Unfortunately, it doesn't, or today, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to make it due to what's on our agenda, but Captain, if you're in the room, know that we are with you in spirit. So we will do our best to say that, Chief. I think you're probably on your way out. We're going to have anyway, happy holidays to all of you. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, and safe, successful, happy, and good 2025. We are back from closed session. We had a vote in closed session to return to open session. Each board member voted in the affirmative, so we are back. We have two remaining things on our agenda. The first is the approval or the recommendation to approve three general orders. We have had them for a while so that we could review them. May we have a motion to approve the first, which is the evidence and property, which is General Order 24-010. We have a motion to approve 010.
Move to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Any further conversation on those?
No, sir.
All right. All in favor of approving General Order 24-010, evidence and property, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? 010 is approved. Our second is the leave policy. Again, we received all three of these policies well in advance to have time to read and read. May we have a motion to approve General Order 24-018, leave policy?
Move we accept the policy.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Any further conversation on 018 leaves? All in favor of approving General Order 24-018 leave policy, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Leave policy is approved. And the third is search and seizure General Order 24-053. May we have a motion to approve search and seizure 053?
I move that we accept, that we approve that
053?
053.
Thank you. Second? Second. Any further conversation on searches and seizures? All in favor of approving General Order 24-053, search and seizures, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. The last topic, last full topic on the agenda is the election of officers. As everyone knows, we have to do this once a year in December. And it is December, so we will look for a motion for a slate of officers for the St. Louis County Board of Police Commissioners. May we have such motion, please?
I move that Richard Banks be appointed. No,
Be chair.
become chair, and that Mike Wild become vice chair, and
And,
Thomasina Hassler, secretary.
very good.
Second.
Any further conversation on that slate of officers? All in favor of Commissioner Banks being chair next year, Commissioner Wild being vice chair next year, and Commissioner Hassler staying as secretary, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We have a new slate for next year. Very good. Congratulations. Thank you all for what you're doing.
Let you vote on that one, Amy.
Before we adjourn, our next meeting will be January 15th at 9 a.m.
Right. I move.
Well, January 5th. I think it's 15th, isn't it? Wednesday, the 15th? At 9 a.m. May we have a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn this meeting of the Board of Police Commissioners.
May we have a second? Second. That was, thank you. Am I supposed to do this? Oh, that one, yeah. Amy, would you?
Did you do a second? Say second.
We got to say, he did already. Richard seconded. Any further conversation on adjournment? Mike's sitting over there quietly. He's ready to go.
He's singing on it.
Any further conversation?
Oh, no.
Amy, would you do a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Ashford.
Yes.
Commissioner Banks.
Yes.
Commissioner Hassler.
Yes.
And Commissioner Wild.
Yes.
Shall we do it together?
No, you do it.
We're adjourned.